Thesis statements are to college papers what a heart is to the human body. We all need one, and if it doesn't do its job properly, we're in serious trouble. So let's discuss what a thesis statement is and how to make sure your thesis statement says everything it needs to say. A thesis statement is generally a single sentence that makes an analysis or a claim about a topic. That's the fancy way of saying that a thesis statement is like your roadmap. It will tell you where you're headed and what stops you're making to get there. The thesis statement ultimately has only three major parts: the subject, the position, and the specific points. If you create a sentence that incorporates all three of these parts, then you have a pretty solid thesis. Let's break those parts down. Part 1, the subject. This is pretty straightforward. What are you talking about? That's your subject. Are you writing a paper about the annual rainfall in the Gobi Desert? Well, first of all, it sounds really boring, but second of all, that's your subject. Whatever the main overall focus of the paper is, that's your subject. Part 2, the position. Once you have your subject, you need to decide how you're going to talk about it. If your subject is about the annual rainfall in the Gobi Desert, and you're really serious about writing a whole paper about that, no matter how awful that sounds, then you need to have a position. Do you think there's too much rainfall in the Gobi Desert? Is the rainfall responsible for erosion? Is this an enormous joke because there is no rainfall in the Gobi Desert? Once you decide how you're going to talk about the Gobi Desert, then you have your position. For this exercise, we'll say that our position is there are only two ways in which rainfall reaches the Gobi Desert. And finally, part 3. The specific points. Once you've decided on your subject, the Gobi Desert, and your position, that there are only two ways in which rainfall reaches the Gobi Desert, then you have to decide on the specific points. Since you painted me into a corner with this Gobi Desert thing, I had to use actual research to learn that there are, in fact, only two main ways that rainfall reaches the Gobi Desert. It briefly receives rain during the southeastern monsoons, and it sees snow brought in by winds from the Siberian steppes. These are your specific points. Now that we have our three parts, we just have to assemble them to make a sentence with them. For example, the only rainfall the Gobi Desert receives is from the southeastern monsoons and the snow brought in by winds from the Siberian steppes. It's as easy as that. Here, let's try a couple of quick hits. First one, our subject is tacos. Our position is that tacos are the most delicious food in the universe, and our specific points are taco seasoning, pico de gallo, and sour cream. Our sentence could be, with the combination of flavors from taco seasoning, pico de gallo, and sour cream, tacos are clearly the most delicious food in the universe. Here's another one. The subject is cannibalism. The position is that cannibalism is a bad idea, and the specific points are disease, morality, and ickiness. How about this sentence? Cannibalism is a bad idea for numerous reasons, including the spread of disease, the issues of morality, and a general sense of ickiness people feel about eating other people. So there you go. Find your three pieces: subject, position, specific points, then assemble them into a sentence that clarifies the goal of your paper. Congratulations, you now have a roadmap for where your paper is headed. Get moving. And remember, if you have any questions or concerns, or you somehow have a subject even more boring than the Gobi Desert, like how to become a comptroller, you can come ask questions in person. We're in Building 4, inside the Academic Success Center, room 120. Good luck.